welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by Mercury Insurance. John Hartung alongside Jerry Hairston Jr. and Nomar Garciaparra. The Dodgers not able to finish off a sweep of the Texas Rangers. Really not a pretty baseball game today at the Ravine. The Dodgers pitchers walked 10 batters. They gave up 10 hits. They threw 2 wild pitches, committed an error. The Dodgers hitters struck out 12 times. Jacob deGrom was outstanding. He was Jacob deGrom today. And Roki Sasaki, though, on the other side of the coin, struggled with his command.
Yeah, let's give some credit there. Jacob deGrom, when he is on, we know he is lights out. So you tip your hat. He definitely brought his A game. On the flip side, Roki Sasaki, once again, command was an issue. He did have wipeout stuff, but didn't give himself the best chance to pitch efficiently and get deep in the ball game.
Yeah, they had no answer for deGrom. You know, sometimes you have a starter who's on point, and he's done that many times throughout his entire career. And then they were waiting. Once he got out, it looked like the Dodgers offense, like, okay, you get that starter out, you get a little bit of life. And they were giving themselves some opportunity, really couldn't get that one big inning. But at the same time, you were looking to see maybe if the pitching staff maybe try to hold it so they can come back. But at the same time, I think overall, when they look at the staff right now, from the starter even to the bullpen, collectively, the staff just didn't have it today. Yeah. I mean, that many walks, usually you don't see that from the Dodger staff, giving that many free passes, because, you know, they take extreme pride in not giving up those free passes. Just wasn't the staff's day today. You got to turn the page and move on.
And even coming into this game, it's really two ends of the spectrum. You have Jacob deGrom, the best strikeout to walk ratio in the history of baseball, Nomar, and Roki Sasaki, who's really struggled with his command. That continued today with him walking 5 batters.
Yeah, he definitely had struggles with his command, and I hope he's able to look at this performance but also take away some good stuff that he had. I thought his breaking ball, his slider was working. There were times it was working really, really well. Had that late break, swings and misses, was devastating. And it's like, okay, it's there. You know, that third pitch is there. You got to fine-tune to find that consistency with it, for example. Then also with the fastball, the very first inning, first 2 guys get on, and then he goes on and strikes out the next 3 batters. The middle part of their lineup, 3, 4, and 5. Another positive thing. Like, go look at those things, walk away, and try to build on some of those positive things and say, okay, what do I have to do to be able to repeat this and be consistent with it? Because there are signs of really good things. This is why the Dodgers keep throwing them out there and giving them chances, because they see those moments, and they're just waiting for the time where it really clicks, or hoping that it clicks, that he's able to do that on a longer, game, for more innings and more consistent. But man, we see it. It's there. Like I said, the very first inning, we see that right there.
14 swings and misses in the first 3 innings of this game. So yes, clearly the stuff is there.
What's crazy, if I can use a golf analogy, he's like a golfer. He goes double, double, then he goes birdie, 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 and then goes back to double, double. There's no pars in there. You know what I'm saying? You got to find that consistency, because the greatness is there. Scouts see it. The Dodgers staff see it. We all see it. He's got incredible stuff. He's got to figure out a way to find command. And I said it, a couple weeks ago. Maybe it is delivery. His delivery can get himself erratic at times, but it certainly is there. We talk about it coming in this start. He's got wipeout stuff. The strikeouts. He gets into trouble. Look at these late breaking fork balls. It's running away from Jock Peterson. The fastball running up and in. 96 to about 99 miles an hour. Outstanding. Fork ball as well. I mean, tumbling out of the zone. So he got himself into jams, and he got out of it because he's got electric stuff. So the key for him is, where can he find that consistency for 90 to 100 pitches? Because we all know it's not really his mind, because we saw it last year. He's a dude. He wants to smoke. It's repeating his mechanics.
Yeah, 94 pitches to get through 4 innings of this game. He walks 5 batters, Jared, but then the bullpen wasn't a whole lot better in terms of command. They issued 5 more walks, a couple times lead off a walk. Some of those walks ended up scoring. It was just, from start to finish, it was a struggle for the Dodgers pitching staff.
It was a struggle. And really, coming into this game, this Dodger pitching staff has been outstanding. Our bullpen has been outstanding. You're going to have one of these days where it's just not going to be there. Obviously, command was an issue with those walks. And we always say, you can't defense a walk, okay? When you put these guys on base, big league hitters are going to find a way to cash in, hitting guys in with a base hit or a home run. So these guys understand it. They do a great job of turning the page. I know we're going to harp on at this post-game show. Got to figure out a way to kind of make sure, kill it here, and be ready to go tomorrow. The main thing is, this Dodger team won the series. We keep winning series. The rest of the way, you're going to put yourself in great shape.
Yeah, it's one of those games where the pitching staff goes cold. We've seen the offense can do that. We've seen the offense over time, over the course of a season, many times. It just seems like everybody collectively is cold. Just like hitting is contagious and everybody seems to be swinging the bat. They go on these runs. That could happen to a pitching staff as well. And today was just one of those days. I mean, you look at this, you look at the line sheet, you know, you got 5, they only gave 5 runs. You're saying, well, they were still kind of in this game. But overall, when you look at the amount of at-bats with runners in scoring position, Texas had as well. So there were so many walks. They had 14 at-bats with runners in scoring position. They only had 2 hits during those 14 at-bats. So there was numerous opportunities for the Rangers. So it was more than just those 5 runs. It was the entire day there was high stressful pitches and innings for the staff.
All right, let's head right back to Dodger Stadium because Roki Sasaki is speaking with Kirsten Watson and the media.
Roki, when you have an outing like today in which you are able to get 6 strikeouts, of course, unfortunately you have the 5 walks, how do you just kind of assess when there are positives, it seems like there's a step forward, but also then the pitch count gets up and, of course, just the lack of command in some situations there?
今日試合で、6個の三振と、フォールもちょっと多かったんですけれども、どのようにその振り返るというか、ちょっとピッチカウントも上がってしまったことあるんですけれども、今日振り返っていかがですか。
一番の反省はまず球数が多かったので、イニング投げれなかったことで、ただこう初回、三振取ってランナー得点圏に背負いながらも初回2回粘れたところは良かったですし、三振も、取れたところは良かったのかなと思ってます。
Yeah, I mean, pitch count definitely got high today, but in the first inning, I was able to run through the innings. I was able to, attack the zone and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's good.
Seeing the swing and miss, I mean, how much is that a step forward for you with how you feel mechanically?
空振りも結構多く取れてたと思うんですけれども、それについては、メカニクス的なところなのか、何か良かったことはあります。
三振に関しては基本的に多分フォークが今日良かったので、そこだと思うんですけど、はい。
So I think my forkball was much better today, so I think I was able to get strikes out a lot.
What do you think made the forkball better for you today? Was it the command of it, the movement of it? What was better about it?
フォークボールについては何が良かったのか、コントロールが良かったのか、それとも動きが良かったのか。
ベース板の上を行く球が多かったですし、落差も今日はあったと思うので、そこは良かったです。
Yeah, I think I was able to, throw on the plate and also, had a good depth.
If kind of finding a way, even when you weren't feeling the best, was the first step for you this season, what is the next step?
今こう感じてきて、いいステップ切れてるかなと思うんですけども、次のステップ何かどのように考えていますか。
そうですね。3登板、4回5回4回とこうイニングがそこまで食えてないので、やっぱこう、なるべく中継ぎに負担かけないように少ない失点でこう長いイニングを投げることが結果としてはそこが目標です。
So I threw 3 games right now, and then innings kind of like a 4, 4, 5 or something like that. So it's not that many. So my goal is to kind of, go deeper in the game a little more.
Do you feel?
All right, here we go. The final game of the series, Dodgers and the Rangers. It's Roki Sasaki on the mounds. Corey Seager down swinging.
You see first and second, nobody out. Corey Seager, I mean, you don't see this often.
No.
Fastball by him.
And then Jake Berger ties him up. That's out number 2.
Good running fastball there.
It was getting ahead of the hitter, got him 1-2, and then able to put him away. Same thing here on Peterson.
So he gets Jock, winds up punching out 3, and then Shohei Ohtani for the second day in a row. Nomar, he's going to start the day, this time, though, against Jacob deGrom, but he gives the Dodgers the lead.
It's smart because this might be the best pitch you're going to see against Jacob deGrom. You're like, okay, maybe it's that very first pitch, just trying to steal a strike. So be ready for it, and it's exactly what he did. He got a pitch, middle half, right down the middle, and boy, he did not miss.
He did not. Wow. And you know what's amazing? Shohei Ohtani being a pitcher himself, he said, you're right, no, this may be the only pitch I get really get a chance to drive. He got it, didn't miss it.
Top of the second, runner on for Josh Young, who goes to right center. And that is a double. The Rangers in business.
That's a pretty good piece of hitting there. It's a slider down and away. He goes with it. Second and third, one out.
But Roki battles here. He strikes out Ezekiel Duran.
Dirty.
That's out number 2.
Man, just a really good off-speed pitch. Major break on that one.
Brandon Nimmo's been a Dodger killer in this series, but not here. He hits a pop fly, and Roki gets out of this.
And you're thinking, first 2 innings, he gets in trouble. Unscathed, though. He gets out of it. Hopefully, he finds rhythm and settles in.
But in the top of the 3rd, it's Evan Carter. Jerry ties it up.
It's a first pitch fastball, kind of similar to what Shohei Ohtani did to DeGrom. Carter got a first pitch fastball to start the 3rd. Doesn't miss it.
Whew. And that was center cut.
2 batters later, it's Jake Berger, and he's a strikeout victim for the 2nd time.
Man, that pitch. That was just filthy. He's like, he threw a running fastball up and in, and then he throws that pitch.
Later in the inning, 2 on, 2 outs, 2 strikes on Josh Smith, but the base hit to right field gives the Rangers the lead.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad of a pitch. It was down. Credit Smith, able to get the barrel to it.
2 batters later, they're loaded for Duran. Nice stop by Freddie Freeman.
Really great play right there, picking up your pitcher by Freddie Freeman.
So limits the damage. It's 2-1, bottom of the 3rd. Hye-Sung Kim. And he's going to challenge that. He's not going to win that challenge.
It's a pretty good slider there at the knees. It is strike 3.
It was after Alex Call had a base hit. So Kim's out. Dodgers out of challenges early in this game. Andy Pages, the 2 on and 2 out.
2 on, 2 out, check swing. I don't know what Call was thinking here or what. It looked like he was going to go there, and that's why Shohei went over there, because he looked like he was breaking.
And especially,
but you don't do that there.
When you're the lead runner and you have a guy behind you like Shohei at first base, you can't fake.
But you also shouldn't even be faking with the best hitter up there with 2 strikes on him and 2 outs. Let him swing the bat.
4th inning, Jake Berger strikes out. And Roki is through 4 innings, but 94 pitches at this point, so his day would be done. Bottom 4. Max Muncy at the plate. DeGrom.
I mean, that is...
Pulls a string.
That looked like a heater on TV.
Yeah,
he pulls a string. That was dirty.
That was a nasty pitch.
Alex Freeland to the right side. Nothing for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 4th. Top 5, Edgardo Enriquez comes in. Danny Jansen at the plate to Max Muncy, and that is a 5-4-3 double play.
Good turn there. Great job, Max Muncy, getting it over there to Freeland. Freeland, outstanding job turning it. 5-4-3 double play.
Bottom of the 5th, Dodgers have an opportunity. 2 on, 2 down for Kyle Tucker, and DeGrom gets him. Change up again.
I mean, that was like split-like action.
Top 6, Enriquez fields a bunt by Duran, and the throw is wild.
Yeah, throws it away. And that's another thing. We're just talking about fielding. One thing the Dodgers have been solid for, but they're here on the pitcher.
And you're taught there, too, to try to throw it to the second baseman's right shoulder. If it's up the line a little bit, he can come and get it, but it's going towards the runner. He's going to protect himself.
And that was after a leadoff walk. Nice play here to get the ball to Jack Dreyer just in time for the out, but a run scores.
Dangerous there. Good play, Freddie Freeman. Jack Dreyer getting there. Eating them up.
So it's a 3-1 game. Dreyer would get out of the rest of that frame. Bottom 6, Andy Pages. Remember, after Alex Call was caught between 2nd and 3rd. Nice diving catch by Evan Carter. Freddie Freeman up there, and I'm not sure what happened here in the left side of the infield, Jerry.
Yeah, it's a high pop-up, and again, you got clouds. The sun shouldn't be an issue there. And I think Corey Seager, assuming that Jung was all over it.
Yeah, he wasn't even looking up.
Yeah.
It looked like he just was like, okay, you
don't
got
see
it.
that too often. That's a base hit for Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
But DeGrom's able to get Max Muncy again. 9th strikeout of the game for DeGrom. Alex Freeland. Shallow left field. Corey Seager has it for the out.
And he stayed with that one.
DeGrom, 6 innings, just 1 run allowed. Those 9 strikeouts in the 7th inning. Still just a 3-1 game at this point, and Dalton Rushing leads off the inning against Jacob Latz with a double.
Guys are excited that Jacob DeGrom is out of the game. Now you've got a chance to make something happen here. Great at bat here for Dalton Rushing. Rifle down the line. Leadoff hitter on.
2 on, 1 down. Shohei Ohtani pops up the first pitch he sees. The big second out there. Kyle Tucker, though. Omar, he comes through to get the Dodgers closer.
Yeah, this is huge for Kyle Tucker. I mean, hopefully this is one where not only just gives you confidence, but maybe he feels something on this swing. Okay, he got on top of that ball. He hit that ball hard on a line. So, and then you're able to knock in a run. Big moment, too, for the Dodgers as they're trying to battle back into this ball game. Good job.
Yeah, I feel like it should be like 7 or 8-2. It's only a 3-2 game at this point. Andy Pages pops it up.
And that ball just ran in on them.
So they settle for just the 1 run. 3-2 going to the 8th. Will Klein comes in, inherited 2 runners. Brandon Nimmo, base hit. That's a big run, 4-2.
Yeah, you see the count there, 3-1. Obviously, Nimmo looking for something he can handle, get something in the middle of the plate. Stays with it up the middle. Another RBI now.
Corey Seager at the plate. That one bounces. Goes to the backstop, 5-2 as a run scores. And that would be the final score of this game, as the Rangers avoid the sweep, winning the series finale 5-2. The Dodgers fall to 11-4 on the season. Roki Sasaki is tagged with a loss, charged with 2 runs in his 4 innings, walked 5 and 6 strikeouts. Shohei goes 1 for 3 with his 5th home run, did walk a couple of times, and Kyle Tucker knocked in the other run, going 1 for 5 in this game. Right now, let's go back to the booth. Check in one final time with Steven Nelson and Oral Hershiser.
Just a sloppy Sunday for the Dodgers. Oral, though, this will happen over the course of 162, and so they are unable to sweep the Rangers.
Yeah, when I think back over the game, there were some positives. I'd have to start with Sasaki a little bit with the swing and miss that he had it going. You know, the negative was the walks, but struck out people in 4 innings, 6 of them, and had a lot of that swing and miss. And for me, you know, he's growing. He's growing. He's getting there, but he's going to have to shorten these cold spells within a game and stay away from the walks.
10 walks issued in total by the Dodger pitching staff. Meanwhile, they struck out 12 times at the plate. It's the 3rd time they've had at least 12 Ks in a game. The Dodgers 0-3 in those games. But back at it tomorrow.
Yeah, back at it tomorrow. And you know what? I think it's going to be exciting to have the Mets here. You're going to have EK in the booth. I don't know if it's Joe or
no, Joe will be here. Yep.
Yeah, so Joe and EK in the first couple of games. And then the 3rd game, I'm getting to do it with Joe Buck and Ron Darling on ESPN. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, we'll see you in a couple of days then, Bulldog. Right. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Back at home on Monday night.
And here's a look at the upcoming schedule. 3 games with the Mets to wrap up the homestand. Tomorrow it's Hello Kitty Hoodie Night at 7 p.m. Wednesday is Jackie Robinson Day. Thursday is an off day before the Dodgers travel to Colorado. They'll play a 4-game wraparound series with the Rockies beginning Friday. Except for Wednesday's game, all will be on Sportsnet LA. Shohei Ohtani hit his 20th leadoff home run as a Dodger. Now trails only Mookie Betts, Davey Lopes, and Jock Peterson on the franchise's leadoff home run list. We've got plenty of reaction ahead as the Dodgers drop the series finale.
Show up early, you know, grab a Dodger dog, you know, maybe a beverage, sit down and look at Shohei get his first at-bat, because good things like that can and will happen.
Gave the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. Unfortunately, they fall in the series finale. But, Jerry, this is the 2nd straight game we saw the Big Show lead off a game with a homer.
I love how aggressive he's been, especially early in the ball game. We're going to access 360 and break down both of his leadoff home runs. We know about Shohei Ohtani. We got touched on it in yesterday's pregame show. Dodgers are having a hard time scoring early. Well, guess what? Shohei watches our pregame show, so he took it personally. Back in the count 1-1. Leiter's just trying to run his fastball. Now he's behind the count 2-1. Let me see if I can drop a slider to. Oh, no, can't do that. Shohei Ohtani is all over that slider that's in or half. It could have been in off the plate. Doesn't matter. 390 feet. Great job of staying square. Head down on contact. The ideal launch angle is around 31 degrees, especially during twilight. We're going to see it right here. Exit velo 104.5. Launch angle 36 degrees. Did his homework. Great job. Tie ball game 1-1. Now you're facing Jacob deGrom. Leading off the game, first pitch swinging. He's looking for something to drive and does an outstanding job getting ahead of the bat out. Great swing, great bat path. Shohei Ohtani, 1-0. Show Dodgers. One more look at it. The launch angle is 39 degrees because the sun is out at the highest peak. I love the fact that he's able to hit it about 108.3 miles an hour. Not as far, that's okay. 374 feet, it still counts the same.
All right. Texas Rangers win it 5-2. Let's go inside the clubhouse right now. Dalton Rushing is speaking with Kirsten and the media.
Well, Dalton, you look at just, I guess, Roki's line today. Got the 6 strikeouts. There were the walks there. I mean, for you as the catcher, how were you just seeing how his stuff was playing in this one today?
Yeah, I thought he walked a couple guys that he could have beat personally. But it was good to kind of see him bounce back after walking a couple leadoff guys and getting some swing and miss. I don't think it was a bad outing at all. It's kind of the same thing. We just have to lean on really attacking hitters a little more and getting ahead, and I think that changes the counts for hitters facing him and also gets a little more chase. You see what he did, obviously, with runners on and getting ahead with the splitter, getting ahead with the cutter, getting more miss on his fastball, getting more miss on his splitter.
He felt like the splitter forkball was playing better now. Were you seeing that and just how much more sharp it is, I guess, in this outing?
Yeah, I guess you could say it was a little sharper. I think that just came with like establishing the strike zone with it and then kind of flooding away from it with it as well. But yeah, at the same time, I think we can get him to establish a strike zone a little sooner, and if we do that from pitch 1, he'll be lights out.
What do you think happened once he got to 2 outs in the 3rd inning, and then a bunch of guys reached and added on?
I don't. Maybe just lost feel a little bit, sped up a little bit. I haven't spoke to him. I'll talk to him tomorrow about his outing, and we'll kind of go through each pitch, go through each batter, and understand what he did really well, understand what he could improve on.
Freddie Freeman had kind of a gift base hit this afternoon. This ball that drops right in front of Corey Seager. We're waiting to hear from the Dodgers skipper, Dave Roberts. Did have 11 strikeouts. The Dodgers pitchers did. So tomorrow you can go to Jack in the Box and pick up a free jumbo jack with the purchase of a large drink at an LA area location. Today, Roki Sasaki had 6 of those 11 strikeouts for the Dodgers. Unfortunately, it comes in a losing effort. 5-2, the Rangers win. We talked at the top of the show about how it wasn't very pretty of a game for the Dodgers, Jerry. Adding to that ugliness, if you will, was they were 0 for 2 in challenges. They were out of challenges by the 3rd inning, something we haven't really seen from this team.
Yeah, it's amazing. We talked about the challenges with Will Smith on our pregame show and how successful we have been this year, especially Will Smith has been successful here. This is early in the ball game, but you got to remember, it's the bases loaded right here. Dalton Rushing is trying to get out of this inning, and that's why I think he challenged here. Nobody out, 1 on here. It is strike 3. It's the 3rd inning. You got to be really sure that this is a ball. He took a shot, and obviously Kim lost that challenge.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's also understanding and knowing the timing of it, and Will Smith has done a good job. And Dalton Rushing, I thought that was an excellent time for it. You got bases loaded, yes. Absolutely right there, trying to say, listen, if we're able to get that one, it was close. And then when you actually broke it down, I mean, I think it was like half-inch difference right there. So it was really close. So that was definitely worth the shot. But as you mentioned about there with Kim, yeah, you just have to think about, like, really, is it even worth it at this moment? We'd like to save them for later.
If it's 1 out, let's say it's the 3rd inning, it's 1 out, runner on 3rd base, a sac fly gets you a run. I think that's when you challenge. It was a runner on 1st base. So 3rd inning, maybe late in the game you challenge it. You want to save those challenges.
We talked about this during the highlight package, Nomar, where the Dodgers had 1st and 2nd with a couple of outs. You've got Andy Paz, the hottest hitter on the planet, is at the plate. Alex Call is at 2nd base and wound up getting thrown out in between 2nd base and 3rd.
Yeah, looking at Alex Call on that play, it looked like he was, he's leaning off, and it's almost like he broke. He took a few steps like he was stealing, and that's why Shohei ended up going. You know, you're taught as you're the runner behind, you're looking at the guy in front of you, and once he's going, then you're putting your head down and you're going. But my thing is, when you have one of the guys who's the hottest hitter in all of baseball up, and even if you have a middle of the lineup up there, a guy who knocks in runs, or supposed to be your guy to knock in runs, there's 2 outs and there's 2 strikes. You're in scoring position. There's no get a good secondary. Be ready to take off. If you start swinging, then you're taking off on the swing. But you are not going to fake. You're not jumping around. Do not mess with the hitter's eyes at all in case they see you out of your peripheral vision. Shouldn't even be thinking about it. You should be making sure I'm not going to get picked off. I'm going to make sure he has a chance to swing and get that bat to knock me in. But I'm going to get a really good secondary. So when he does put that in play, I am scoring easily. So that whole thing right there didn't make sense to me at all, and you shouldn't be getting picked off right there.
Yeah, Alex Call is an incredible player. Obviously knows the game. I don't know what he was really thinking. I think if he goes back and thinks about it, said, man, I shouldn't have done that. And Nomar, you touched on it, hit the nail on the head. You have your best hitter, the hottest hitter in all of baseball, especially with 2 strikes. Shut everything down. Let him focus on the at-bat. If you want to steal a base here, double steal, you do it early in the count and get the, have second and third, Shohei trailing you, and then you give Andy Paz maybe an opportunity to knock 2 guys in. But once he gets to 2 strikes, you got to swing the bat. But if you're going to go, you can never fake. You can never fake because Shohei Ohtani's left to dry. Right. He's following your lead. So if you're breaking, he's going to be the trail runner and follow you. So it's just one of those things. It wasn't the Dodgers' best game. You're going to have those things. Yeah. Dodgers have been playing great baseball. Let's forget about this game, turn the page, and be ready for the Mets.
Oh, by the way, they did win the series. So,
yes, that's right.
They won the series. Yeah. This was about getting greedy. We knew that. And listen, now you got to focus on the next series.
It happens.
Yep. All right, next series beginning tomorrow against the New York Mets. Dodgers kicked off the weekend with Max Muncy's walk-off home run Friday nights. They could not finish the sweep, but they still take 2 out of 3 over the Rangers. We will hear from Dave Roberts coming up. Access Sportsnet. Dodgers drop the series finale to the Texas Rangers. Still take 2 out of 3, though, this weekend. Let's go back to the Ravine. Dave Roberts is speaking with Kirsten and the media.
Dave, for Roki Sasaki today, when you just look at his outing, do you kind of focus on the positives of the 6 strikeouts and seeing the swing and miss and how the stuff was playing, or are the walks still proving to be a big challenge and a kind of a tough spot for him at the moment?
I think... Yeah, I think it's a fair question. I think the thing that stands out is he limited damage. Once he exited the game, we were still in a good position to win the game. That was important. He didn't let it kind of spin out of control. And then looking at the lack of efficiency, I think that's something that, with the stuff that he had today, the 6 strikeouts and then the swing and miss and all that stuff, that sets up for going deeper in the game. And so I think that's something that I talked to him about and challenging him to, when you take the baseball, we're trying to go 5 innings or more. And so I think that's kind of the next progression for him to be consistently able to do that. But I do feel that the growth part of it is to, hang in there, make pitches when he needs to. That's important. And he spread the walks out, I guess as well as you could to kind of limit damage, and that's something I was proud of in that sense.
Being in the zone more, is that more of a 10 thing, or is that a command thing?
I think it's a little combo. I think there's a little bit, and I think he, honestly, is some of the misses were just off, certainly with the fastball. So I think that maybe trying to be a little bit too fine. Obviously, no pitchers are trying to walk guys. But I think there might be a little bit of the intent about being a little too fine. That's kind of what I see, where I think before there were some bad misses and maybe a little too running from the strike zone, where I don't see that now.
When you see him in the same inning go from sharp to then suddenly kind of wild for a couple batters, what do you think is happening with him?
That's a good question. I don't know that answer. But what it does say is that when it gets really hot, gets stressful, then he finds a way to make pitches. So, how do you get ahead of that and not let an inning get built. That's what the great ones do. And I think that if you look back at today and even a lot of his outings, you know, there's some bad walks in there. You know, guys that you have to go after and force them to put the ball in play. And, you know, he's been victim to that. So once we can kind of get past that, then I think you'll see a lot more efficiency out of Roki.
When you're talking about the intent piece, is there anything that he can pull from his experience coming out of the pen when kind of that is more of the mindset that relievers are coming into, of just going at guys from the
Yeah. I think certainly. I think, you know, that's kind of the mindset of a reliever, because you're going to go shorter. You're not going to throw as many pitches, so you can kind of empty the tank. And, you know, with starters, you know, they train for more pitches, more innings, and you have to, you know, have in your head to still have that same mindset and trust that your work can, you know, sustain 90 to 100 pitches with the same mindset and effort. And so that's something that, you know, we got to get to that point.
Just some of the sloppiness on kind of all phases today, frustrating, felt like maybe gave some opportunities away to get back in the game after that.
I think so. That's, you know, we had, I think, 10 walks. You know, one was the, you know, trying to, you know, put Seager on base intentionally, but, you know, 9 walks is a lot of walks. You know, that's a lot of free bases. And then, you know, Edgardo's got to make that play on the PFP, and we could have stayed in that game, and it could have been different. But I think, yeah, you know, the 9 walks, 10 walks, whatever stands out, and, you know, the PFP. But DeGrom was really good, and, you know, it's hard to muster up a bunch of runs against that guy.
Call said that it wasn't a double steal call on that play with him and Ohtani. He's just been reading that in real time.
Yeah, I think, you know, if we had to do it over again, he's got to be at second base. You know, you've got arguably your hottest hitter,
coming into this game, it's really two ends of the spectrum.
And, you know, you just can't get caught up in a run down there. You can't do it.
All right, so going back to Roki Sasaki, we heard Dave Roberts talking about him right there, Nomar, saying that he did a good job of limiting the damage, but also admitted still a lack of efficiency, had some bad walks in there. Now, last year, we remember the Roki Sasaki we saw in October, but really ever since he came to the Dodgers, he has struggled as a starting pitcher with his command, with his efficiency. So how do you fix that with him?
Listen, they're constantly working on it. I thought, you know, we all thought that maybe what we saw last year in the postseason, like it was fixed. Like, man, he was efficient. He was attacking it. Okay, can he carry that into the starts? There was the confidence knowing that he can do it at this level. Because even early on last year when we saw him, at the beginning of the year, you could see that the confidence wasn't there. Kind of like what we saw coming into this season, there was no confidence. And the confidence is probably not that he can't do it at this level. It seems now is their confidence in being able to repeat that delivery, be able to have the command you need to pitch at this level. That's what he's really searching for. He is searching for that consistency. Don't know what it is when he comes out of the bullpen. If it's a mindset mentality where it's just knowing I just have to go one inning, as Dave Roberts even touched on, because they asked him that, where it's just one inning, all of a sudden, okay, I don't really worry as my mechanics as much or think as much, where I just is one thought, and that's attack. Is it trying to help him to say, listen, you can do the exact same thing as a starter? I really don't know. I mean, but I do know they are constantly trying to find those answers and working with him.
Coming out of the bullpen, it's one inning. It's 10 to 15 pitches. It is an all-out sprint, so you don't have to really worry about your mechanics. You got to go out there and attack the strike zone. When you're a starter, it's a marathon, and you got to be able to be efficient with your delivery. So hopefully he figures it out, because he's got a lot of talent.
Yeah. All right. Dodgers opening a 3-game series with the New York Mets tomorrow night. Justin Robleski will be making his second start of the season. We'll preview that matchup and have some final thoughts next. New York Mets coming to town Monday. Justin Robleski will make his second start of the season. Went 5 innings, gave up only 2 hits, 1 earned in his first start against the Blue Jays last week. The Mets, they've lost 5 in a row coming into this one. Jerry, they were shut out twice over the weekend by the A's. But what do you want to see from Robo against the Mets?
I'll tell you what, I love his outing there in Toronto. He was pumping strikes, trusting his stuff, really more of the same, allowing your defense to help you out. We got a great defense. Robo, keep throwing strikes, brother.
Yeah, He looks really good when he comes out of the bullpen, where he's coming in and attacking hitters. I think when we saw the starters, there were times he's not done that. His last start, he looked like that. So just continue more of the same.
All right, Mets in town Monday. They also will not have Juan Soto, who is on the injured list. For Nomar, Jerry, and Kirsten, I am John. Thanks for watching. We'll see you from the stadium. Live pregame coverage begins at 6 o'clock on Sportsnet 11.